Hey everyone, so I got these three solar chargers here and I'm gonna test and compare them. So this one is basically a cheap type of thing. I don't think the brand matters. These kind of things are everywhere on eBay or just wherever. It's supposed to be 15 watts and it's about 400 grams maybe. And these two ones, the Sandberg, are a bit more premium, I'd say. So this one is supposed to be 30 watts and it's actually very light for the advertised power. This is 700 grams only. So yeah, I have high hopes for that one. And this is another Sandberg one, which this one is 40 watts. And it's quite heavy though, it's 1.3 kilos. I used this one for quite a while now, but yeah, this is supposed to be the upgrade. So yeah, I'm curious about the results. And also, by the way, this one only outputs 5 volts. So it's just for charging phones and small electronics, with the 5 volts. But these two have higher voltages as well. So this one is all the way up to 19 volts and this one is 16 and a half. So yeah, you can use these for laptops as well, I guess, but a lot of laptops actually have 19 volts, which this one doesn't output. But yeah, it's fine. I mainly want it for hiking, for charging my phone and power bank. So yeah, I actually only care about the 5 volts anyway. Yeah, so first let's test it from the wall. If everything is working, this charger is supposed to be 15 watts, so ideally it should output about 3 amps if there is no limiting, which I hope there isn't. Okay, so start charging the power bank. Yeah, hopefully you can see that. 2.9 amps, so yeah, almost 3, so it doesn't seem to be limited. And yeah, let's go outside and check the solar panels. Okay, so it's a bit cloudy, it's winter, February in the northern hemisphere, but it's also a useful test. It's around noon, so first the cheap one, lying flat. We have 30 milliamps, which is basically nothing, but as I said, also a useful test. And now I try to angle it towards the sun. And yeah, little improvement, 0.4. Okay, let's move to the next one. Same conditions, but I'm already getting almost 300 milliamps, so very nice, lying flat. Now angle it to the sun. Yeah, it's not much better. It's a little bit more, I guess, like 50 milliamps more. Okay, and for the last one, the heavyweight. Okay, 330 milliamps. Let's angle it to the sun. This is gonna be difficult. It's really long. Yeah. Yeah. Getting a bit more there. Yeah, there was 400 at one point. Yeah, okay. Well, Next test coming when I have the sun, so probably like 2 weeks. Okay, so let's get on with it on the spring sun. So first the cheap one, lying flat. Hopefully it's visible. It's 200 milliamps almost. Angle it to the sun. Okay, so that's 350 milliamps. That's actually not great, but kind of useful. It would charge a phone if you use it for a whole day, basically. But for small electronics like watches, it's okay. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. So that's the lightweight Sandberg. It's almost 1 amp, just lying flat, so 5 times as much as the cheap one, which is really nice. Angled to the sun. Yeah, it's not getting any higher, so the current is actually limited here, which is not great, but yeah, it's probably my measuring setup. Yeah, so it looks like the solar panel is too smart. It knows that my charging cable isn't a fast charging cable, because obviously I only have the two cables, so I mean 2 wires, so it's just +5 and ground. Well, anyway, it's still a pretty nice result. I mean, 1 amp lying flat. Let's move on to the big one. So the big heavy one, 1.3 kilo Sandberg. It's yeah, about 1.3 amps, lying flat. Let's angle it to the sun. And yeah, it's actually limited as well. So yeah, unfortunately I cannot get the full output with this measuring setup. Yeah, but still, it's some result, right? At least you know you need fast charging cable. Alright, so I found out that I can actually use my phone to measure this, so let's try again. So this little widget actually shows either charging or discharging current. So right now it shows that the phone is discharging at about 100 milliamps. So let's connect the charger. This one, this cable is, or rather the charger isn't a fast charging one, so probably this will be limited. So let's see what the phone shows. Yeah, and it's charging at around 1 amp, so 5 watts. Yeah, so the actual wattage from the wall is actually a bit different than 5 here, because what the phone measures, I'm pretty confident, is the current straight at the battery, not current going to the USB port. So you know, it's obviously 5 volts from the wall, and then the charging circuitry inside the phone needs to get that down to something like 3.8 to charge the battery. So yeah, but also there is some efficiency loss there, so yeah, the number should be pretty similar. So I'd say, let's say within 20% it should be. Well, anyway, so yeah, now let's see this one. This is an original fast charger with the cable. So let's see what it shows now. Yeah, fast charging. Okay, so about 4 amps. Yeah, so let's just use this cable with the solar panels and let's see the final test. Okay, so I'm not testing the cheap one because it doesn't have USB-C and well, it wasn't limited anyway. So the lightweight Sandberg, lying flat, getting about 900 milliamps just lying flat and angled to the sun. It takes a while for the fast charging to kick in, but it's like 1.8, almost 2 amps. And the heavyweight, lying flat, just that should be visible. So it's 900 and yeah, it's about 900 milliamps. Now it's almost 1 amp. And now let's angle it to the sun. This will be difficult to capture, but let's try. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, it's pretty well angled, I think, but I actually cannot get anything more than 1 amp out of this. Yeah, I don't think the USB-C port supports fast charging here. Interesting. Well, hopefully you can get something out of this video.